All right, so time to bend over and grab the lube because here comes my honest opinion, and this needs to stop. Sorry to be brutal, but I'm being honest here. Today we're taking a look at a 4K camera drone under $200. Is that even possible? Is it even any good, and is it worth it? Well, I guess we're about to find out. What's up, everybody? Today we're taking a look at this drone. This is the H22. It's supposed to be 4K, and it comes in right at $180. And we've basically got a folding camera drone, and we've got a decent looking remote control. This thing comes in under 249 grams, which is great because you don't need to register it with the FAA, and it's going to unfold easily. And the question is this worth the money? Is it any good? And would you just be better off buying a DJI or keeping something like this? And at the end of the day, who's the real target market for this, if any, and what are the pros and cons? So first things first, why this versus something like a DJI? Well, if you hop onto the DJI site quickly, you're going to notice that those drones get real expensive real quick, and they don't really have a flagship model under the $500 mark. If we look at the newest Mavic Mini, or just the Mini itself, it's right around $700. However, if you're willing to sacrifice and go down just a couple iterations to the Mini 2, you can find that for right around $300. So for twice the price as this, you could get a Mavic Mini 2, which is a couple years old, but is that older technology as good as or better than what you're getting right here at $180? Before we take a look at some close-ups, let's see what's all included in the box. So this is everything out of the box in no particular order. We've got the user's manual, some additional props and parts along with the tool, a couple USB-C recharge cords, 2 batteries. We've got a nice carrying case to keep everything stored and organized while you're on the go. We got the drone and then the remote control. Now, when it comes to the batteries, you're getting not 1 but 2, which is great because that increases the total amount of fly time or fun time. And you'll notice it's got this little sleeve over here and it tells you how to operate the battery. So if we come in for a closer look on the battery here, on the side, you've got your USB-C charge port. So when you need to recharge these are great. Now, you would normally insert this into the drone first and power it on. And if you press the button once, the power button is going to give you a charge status so you know where it's at. But to actually turn on the battery so it can power the drone, what you need to do is press it once, release, and press it and hold it once again, and you'll notice that the power indicators went up and now the battery's actually turned on and will activate. And then same thing for turning it off, press it once and hold it down, it'll turn back off. This makes sure that you can't accidentally turn on the battery and drain the power. That'd be disappointing when you're trying to fly your drone. Now if we look at the remote control, it's actually got a good design here, has a good hand feel to it, doesn't feel super small and scrawny like you're going to instantly break it. And you can turn it on here, and we're going to have a nice little display screen up here with a lot of information. And I'm not going to go into all of the specifics. You can read the manual for that. We're just going to touch on some of the features to keep the video short and sweet and get right into flying here. Okay, but this is rechargeable. That's a nice feature. Okay, so you can recharge it here with the USB-C port. You don't have to bring your own batteries like AA's or AAA, so that's a nice touch, okay? Joysticks have a nice gratifying feel to them and snap right back into place. You've got your return to home button here. Right, we got some different calibrations for the compass, changing indoor and outdoor speeds. On the very top here, you have easy buttons right here, switch buttons for taking photos or video. You can change the speed up top over here, right? The tilt of the camera if you happen to be using that, right? And there's a lot of really nice features here. And on top of that, there's also a phone holder that's built in right here at the bottom. You just get your little finger under here, and you're gonna be able to slide this out and you can snap a phone in here, okay? This actually can hold a newer, larger smartphone. I have a Samsung S24 Ultra. It does fit into this holder right here, but you do have to remove the phone case. It might be the same thing for an iPhone 15, 16, thing of that nature here. But aside from that, it can hold a newer smartphone. And then we get to the fun part, the drone itself. This is it in its folded down state. It's about the size of my palm here. It's nice, it's lightweight. And once again, a reminder, it is under that 249 gram limit that the FAA has, which means you don't need to register this for recreational fun flight, which is great. So we come in for a look. You've got your camera here on the front. This will give the ability to take some photos and do video and whatnot. And it's just a nice compact form feature here. And then on the back, this is where you're going to slide your batteries into. You power it on, it turns on. But very simple and straightforward. You fold out the arms. You're going to hear them click into place for both the top and the bottom, and then it's ready to go. Look at this, it's right here, boom. Yeah, and so that's what we're gonna go do now. We're gonna take it outside, fly it around, and have a little bit of fun. So as you can hear, this thing is whisper quiet, and because it has GPS built in, it's actually able to hold its position accurately with minimal drift, even when there are winds trying to push it left or right and front and back. You'll also notice the app offers a live view during flight with lots of real-time information and touchscreen controls. And there's also a bunch of fun additional features to expand your creativity during flight. The controller makes takeoff, landing, and operation super easy and intuitive, and with all the information you get via the app as well as the controller, you have plenty of information on the drone at any point in time. And one of the great features in case you get into a pinch is a return to home function where you press a single button and it'll automatically fly the drone directly back to you and land it automatically without any additional input from you. Just keep in mind that the drone doesn't have obstacle sensors built into it, so if there are any obstacles along the way, I think you know what's going to happen. Flying the drone itself is fun, it's quick, it's zippy, and it takes off, and the controls make it really easy to use, along with all the built-in features. So overall, that went well, but let's talk about my flight experience overall, and we're going to start with the cons first, and I'm going to be real honest and brutal. All right, so time to bend over and grab the lube, because here comes my honest opinion, and this needs to stop. You guys, the Chinese manufacturers, need to stop labeling drones as 4K when they're not. There's nothing that annoys me more when I go to test out these drones that are marketed as 4K, especially the ones under the $200 mark and especially under the $100 mark. They are nowhere close to a 4K camera. 4K from what year? 2001? My LG V10 cell phone does better 4K footage, and that thing is from 2015. You saw the footage, you saw the screen records, that is not 4K. So what is the baseline for 4K? Because we need to have some baseline to compare things to, and since DJ dominates the market, that is what the 4K standard should be, comparatively, right? And even their cheapest drone, the Mini, does 4K. And if you look at some of the older drones, like the Autels or even the Skydio, some of those are a little bit better, some of them are not. It really depends on the sensor size, but that is a real 4K image, or what your expectation should be. So that's my biggest gripe, but even if this was 4K, then the number 2 issue would actually be the gimbal, which really does nothing. So when you're flying, if you're flying straight and slow, you can see, but as soon as you go fast, you're staring at the ground. As soon as you bank around the corner, you're looking to the side. So you're getting more of kind of like that FPV experience, but not really. It's just not good enough to use the camera as a way to pay attention to where you're flying without crashing into something. And on top of that, it doesn't have obstacle sensors, so you can easily do that. But overall, what about the rest of the flight experience? Yes, the remote control works well. It's got good information on it. When you're using the phone with the app, the additional features, the follow me feature kind of sort of worked. The waypoints, sure, they work. Return to home worked perfectly, and it landed, so easy takeoff landing. But is it going to be as good as a DJI Mini 4K for just $120 more or less? And that's where we get to the closing part here. Who is this for, and is it worth it? Now, if you look around my office, or at least from this camera over here, you can see on this wall, I've got a bunch of different FPV drones that I've built. Okay, I got a Mini Whoop over here. This is probably $400. I've got the Nazgul. That was $600. I got a 7-inch drone over here. That's probably $750. I got another one up there for $450, and then I got a 10-inch quad over there for around $700. So I have thousands of dollars spent on drones, so I'm a little bit of a snob. But if you're trying to get into drones and you're trying to pinch your pennies and not spend too much money because you're interested in it, but you're not really sure if you're going to like it or not, so you want to go cheap, okay? For $120 more, you can get yourself a DJI Mini 4K, and you will have a product that is real 4K. It's got 3-axis gimbal stabilization. It is bulletproof. It works. It's tried. It's tested. It's proven. And even if you fly it and you're like, you know what, I don't really use it, I want to get rid of it, someone will actually buy it from you. If you buy this for $180, $200 after tax out the door, and you decide you don't like it, and then you want to try and sell it to somebody, put it on Facebook Marketplace or eBay, ain't nobody buying this, okay? This has no resale value. So you're going to take that $200 and you might as well put it into a blender right now, or send it to me and I'll send this to you and we'll call it even. Sorry to be brutal, but I'm being honest here. And if you appreciate that honesty, don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe and like so that I can continue bringing real reviews for you on different products on the market here. Having said that, if you still want to check this out anyways, I'll put a link down below where you can find this on Amazon. So hopefully you found this review helpful, and as somebody who buys, flies, and builds drones on the regular, that's my actual opinion. If you found it helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe. Let me know your comments down below if you have any of those, and I'll see you all in another video.